Hello and welcome to World Stories, your international reporters magazine. I'm Sumi Somaskanda, and this week we're going to find out why cars are blooming in Bulgaria, what shea butter means to local communities in Mali, and we've got a tip for students heading abroad. Chile is the place to be. All that and more. But first to Iraq. In 2007, a car bomb ripped through Mutanabi Street in Baghdad, killing dozens and wounding many more. The attack left one of the capital's most historic districts in tatters. Mutanabi Street, also known as the Street of the Booksellers, was a place where literature had been celebrated and shared for centuries, a place lined with coffee shops and stationery stores. And much of that heritage was lost, but the community has worked to rebuild since then. In our next story, Fadel Al-Hajj from Al Arabiya introduces us to one of the most important bookstores on Mutanabi Street, where generations of Iraqi history lie in the hands of one man.
Time has not been kind to Baghdad's many historical monuments and buildings. Developers, wars and their aftermath have taken their toll. But here, in this bustling market, booksellers have been plying their trade for as long as anyone can remember. And one of these premises has been in business for nearly a century, the current owner diligently collecting anything and everything to do with Baghdad's past, both in words and pictures.
The Al-Filfili bookshop opened here in 1930. In medieval times, this was a paper market. Now it's known as Al-Saraya. It's at the end of Mutanabi Street in the part of the city called Hassan Pasha. My father, Hussein Al-Filfili, started the business. He was famous for his collection of books on all kinds of subjects. The shop became a sort of cultural center where writers, politicians, and other personalities of the day came to meet. Among them was former Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Said and senior ministers of government.
Al-Filfili's is a treasure trove of documents, pictures and books that can't be found anywhere else.
The shop is very old, and it houses a lot of old works. This is a book by Commander James Felix Jones. This edition was published in 1857. Jones was one of the first people to survey what is now Iraq. The book contains rare maps of Iraq and Baghdad's Old Town. Here we have the region of Samarra. And this is another region. There are even color pictures and maps, and studies of Iraqi tribes and Baghdad's Old Town.
The shop's books and pictures are especially important for anyone interested in the social history of Baghdad. The photographs of street life have become important sources for many websites, history buffs and people looking to find out more about the city's past.
Most of the pictures I have show Baghdad in the old days. This one is my favorite. It shows the flood of 1954 in the city's Alawi district. I remember it. At that time, we lived in Al-Kar. We drove over to the area in the car. People even drove there from distant places like Barzihana and Dorin. This rare photo shows the town center of Al-Qadimiyya. It was taken in 1920. This is an interesting photo from when the country was still a monarchy. It's a portrait showing Queen Alia, Prince Abdallah, and King Faisal in 1947.
People returning to Iraq from abroad often come here searching for pictures of how Baghdad looked when they left. So much has changed, and so much now looks unfamiliar. Al-Thufali's collection helps them find the past again, a source of information without which many would be lost.
Akram is a sensitive man. He cares less about business and more about culture and the past. After 2003, many Iraqis returned to Baghdad from abroad. He was aware that many once familiar landmarks had disappeared, but the people who had come back were still looking for traces of what they remembered. Many of them want to stay in Iraq permanently. That prompted Akram to gather material, pictures of Iraq and Baghdad, and copy and catalog them.
Many people come here to browse. Every day we get monarchists, then anti-monarchists, each to his own. Many of the stories they tell have to do with the king's grandfather, father, and mother. You could base entire books on the stories told here.
The Al-Thufali bookshop specialises in works that deal with various eras and governments and tell the stories of politicians as well as famous characters.
I've got material on just about anywhere in the city, all the important buildings. Then I have different archives dealing with ministers, presidents, and the Iraqi royal family. I also have another archive for prime ministers, and one more covering the mayors of Baghdad.
Documenting history is important to make sure people don't forget their past. Without books and pictures, there would be no way to pass down memories to the generations to come.
An important effort. Now, how do you breathe fresh life into a small town? That's a problem facing Novi Iskar. It's a town located in western Bulgaria, north of the capital, Sofia. Officials there wanted to give the central square a modern touch and decided to take an unusual approach. They turned a classic car into an open-air display. The vintage model they chose was one of the most successful exports of the former East Germany, and it's since become a collector's item. Jivko Konstantino from Nova TV has more.
The plant that gave us the Wartburg car opened more than a century ago in the German city of Eisenach. The car was named after the town's castle, made famous by Richard Wagner's opera Tannhäuser.
I doubt the man who created the Wartburg ever imagined the car would become a flower pot.
The idea was born out of a desire to do something different in our town. We wanted to change the appearance of the town square. We looked around at various scrapyards and found the car. This Wartburg was made in 1965. With the help of local residents and businessmen, we achieved this result.
An artist was hired, and in less than a week, the Wartburg became an artwork.
The car was a spontaneous idea. Painting cars is nothing new for me, but it was the first time I'd painted one as a flower pot. We had some idea of how we wanted to paint it, but much of the design was spontaneous. We wanted something colorful and spectacular. We didn't spend that much time thinking about it. The colors had to suit the fact that it's basically a car transformed into a flower pot.
In the past, owning a car like this was a great luxury. People had to wait years for the chance to buy one. Nowadays, it's rare to see a really well-maintained Wartburg. Nostalgia is helping to preserve the cars and to revive interest in them.
Why the Wartburg? Well, I thought it would be interesting to use a retro model because this kind of art usually involves modern cars. I thought the Wartburg would be appreciated by more eccentric people. And it was a real challenge. Why not the Wartburg? It's a very beautiful car.
I hope people like it. It shows old cars don't have to be consigned to the scrapyard. They can be reinvented.
A fresh idea indeed. Now to a product you might have seen in the store before, shea butter. It's a yellowish fat that comes from the nut of, what else, the shea tree, which is indigenous to Africa. In Mali, the production of shea butter is a central part of life. And for a group of women we meet in our next story, it's the only means of survival. UNTV's Scott Corbin and Faridoun Heimani show us how an international effort to improve shea butter production there has had a ripple effect on local communities.
Women like these in Mali know all about the benefits of the shea tree. Like thousands of others, they've been gathering its fruit for years to produce soaps and various products to sell. Now production hovers at 80,000 tons per year, but it has the potential to reach 250,000 tons and improve lives.
We face two major problems here: the water situation and the fact we have to do everything by hand.
Nene Traore works in Ségou in southern Mali at the Sebolinba cooperative. The center uses 800 liters of water daily. Pumped from the ground, it's fetched by local women, an energy sapping process leaving them too tired to process shea fruit.
If we had the right equipment and the water was nearer, then we would save time and increase production.
A new project run by the governments of Mali and Luxembourg, together with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, is helping women in Mali to do just that. At this center on the outskirts of Douala, new machinery and improved production methods have substantially increased outputs and workers' earnings. A year ago, the center could only produce 100 kilos of soap per day. Now it produces 6 times that amount. Higher productivity and quality means higher wages for the workers, allowing women to spend more money where it matters. Now classrooms at local schools in Douala, like this one, are full because parents no longer need their children at the factory. Abdoulaye Tunkara, headmaster at the Douala school.
They no longer take their children out of school. The family income has increased. Now, with the mill machines, girls are no longer made to do it. They can study normally in class. In fact, they are the best performers.
So are their mothers, who are striving hard to produce the best shea products. Minister for the Promotion of Women, Children and the Family, Dr. Konare Mariam Kolapo.
From the north to the south and from the east to the west, women produce all kinds of shea products. Today, what we are trying to do is to look at the quality of shea products and improve it with the new techniques.
The new products target not only domestic consumers. Soaps that sell for just 50 euro cents in the capital Bamako are now being sold for 10 times more in Western countries. This shipment of 20 tons of soap is the first delivery for a new client in France. A factory in Marseille, owned by the project's French partner, the Savonnerie du Midi. It has now formed a joint venture with the Douala-based cooperative. Rather than buy the raw material, it's choosing to buy a semi-refined product from Mali. President of the C. Iriwa Production Center in Douala, Diarra Dihara Demble.
We've received training and increased our knowledge and become much more business-minded. We buy the Shea and transform it here and sell it for a greater profit. It's completely changed our way of doing things.
If the improvements here in Douala can be extended across the country, many more women in Mali will stand to benefit from this successful business model.
Now, studying abroad, it's something millions of university students do every year, crossing oceans and continents to study in a completely different country, in a different language often. Valparaiso is one of Chile's biggest tourist cities, and it has several major universities. So it's no wonder that plenty of foreign students end up there every year. Many of them go to the city's Catholic university. UCV TV's Malena Rodriguez has the story.
It's the beginning of another day in Valparaiso. The streets begin to fill with people. Some of them seem anxious or in a hurry, while others are blinking in the morning light after having pulled another all-nighter. These are the city's students. Many have come from abroad in order to immerse themselves in another culture, explore the city, and get to grips with the new education system.
I decided to come to Valparaiso because other students who had studied here in previous years told me it was a very beautiful city by the sea, with a diverse culture and lots of students. They said you could live here very comfortably. I was surprised to see how flexible the professors are. They give foreign students a lot of help and offer lessons to those who haven't yet mastered Spanish. It came as a nice surprise at the start of the year.
Taking part in a course with international students, as I like to call them, is a unique experience because it gives Chilean students the opportunity to experience intercultural communication right here. That's how I'd summarize it. There's a unique atmosphere here in Valparaiso. Last semester, I was fortunate in that 1 in 3 of my students came from abroad. A lot of new friendships are forged here. The program enables us to gain a better sense of the world and allows the foreign students to discover more about us, the people who live at the end of the world.
Under the current education system, cultural exchanges between different countries are becoming more and more common. It's an effective way for students to widen their perspectives, experience a new culture, and see the world from other points of view. Valparaiso has become a highly sought-after destination. And not just because of the quality of the education that it offers, but also because it's an attractive port city. Students are drawn by its bohemian feel and its colorful vibe.
I talked to former students who had been to Valparaiso. They convinced me, telling me it was a lovely city. I wanted to come to Latin America, and this was a good opportunity.
A city of many colors. It's impressive. The architecture isn't all the same. Everything is really diverse and breathtaking.
When you're in Valparaiso, standing on a hill and looking out over the Pacific, the horizon looks as if it never ends. And we're close to the capital city of Chile, but not in it. The people here are very warm-hearted, but we're still close to the bustling capital.
The university's exchange program is going from strength to strength. as more and more students from around the world find themselves drawn to this charming city by the sea.
And finally to Pakistan. The province of Balochistan directly borders Afghanistan, and it's a region that's often associated with terrorism, tribal conflict, and militancy. But it's also earned another distinction. It's home to one of the country's best cricket players. Nahida Khan plays for Pakistan's women's team, and she hails from the city of Quetta, the largest in Balochistan. That's especially remarkable because where she comes from, women are rarely given the opportunity to get involved in sports. Now, Nahida hasn't just gotten involved, though. She's helped the national team score some important victories. Black Box Sounds sent us this report.
Women play cricket just as well as men. We proved this at the 2010 Asian Games. Both teams were there, the women and the men's. The men, well, they were there, but we came back with gold. My name is Nahida Khan and I come from Quetta. Currently I'm completing a master's in physical education and sports science. I'm on the Pakistan national women's cricket team. I represent our country. As a child, I used to play in the streets with my brothers and other children from the neighbourhood. Girls in my college played cricket. I joined them and started playing. Soon I was selected for the Balochistan women's cricket team. When I was selected, I initially faced problems. This is a conservative society, but my father supported me. He was behind me all the way. I didn't give up. I continued playing. I did well locally and was selected to play at international level. My achievements as a member of the women's cricket team include participating in the 2009 ICC Cricket World Cup fixture against Australia. Later, our side went on to win the gold medal at the 2010 Asian Games. I was also on the team for the World Cup qualifier held in Bangladesh. My favourite player is Shahid Afridi. His style is aggressive and he plays with confidence. He starts hitting boundaries as soon as he starts playing. He's won lots of matches for Pakistan. I want to play like him too, and God willing, I will.
Nahida Khan from Balochistan province represents our country internationally. This is a matter of great pride for Balochistan. Despite the fact that young women from the province don't get many opportunities to prove themselves, she has attained the highest levels of success through sheer hard work.
Other parts of Pakistan, like the provinces of Sindh or Punjab, have good facilities and separate grounds for women. But in Balochistan, the situation is very different. We face problems due to the lack of grounds and training academies. The biggest problem is not having a place to practice.
People think Balochistan is a provincial sort of place and that we can't produce good talent. But I say if Balochistan can produce great athletes like Jahinga Khan and Shea Khan, then it has the capability to create more.
My message to Pakistani girls is, work with your parents to develop your talents and build up your confidence. I too faced a lot of problems, but I believed in myself. I managed to overcome all the obstacles and continue playing. I put my problems to one side and continued playing, which is why I achieved success.
An inspiring story. Well, that's all for this week's edition of World Stories. From us, our reporters and partner stations around the world, we want to thank you for watching. To watch more episodes, head to our website. That's dw.de/World Stories. We'll leave you with this week's Picks of the World. See you next time with more World Stories.